Collin, are you feeling dialed in this morning?
Kat, it's me. I'm always dialed in, and it's my duty to make sure you all are just as fired up. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time to dial in. Welcome back to another episode on this fantastic Friday on the first week of March. I'm Collin O'Callaghan.
I'm Ryan Curtin.
And I've not stopped smiling all week because it's going to be an awesome episode. We've got two very special guests joining the show. Two guests that both of us feel could do a better job of running the NFL than Roger Goodell, and I don't think it's close. We're super excited. We're so honored. We're so pumped. Let's just not waste any more time. Ryan, you want to get things started?
Yeah, well, so let's introduce our guest. Our first guest, I think she epitomizes the phrase, needs no introduction. She played collegiate softball at Washington University before coming here to Medill to study sports media. She is currently my co-host on the Besides the Point podcast, which is coming back soon, I promise. She is the queen of Ohio, and I think it's safe to say she thought that Joe Burrow was cool even before Joe Burrow thought he was cool.
Absolutely.
And of course, she is my very good friend, Olivia Craycraft.
Let's go.
Ooh, thank you, boys, for having me so much.
Oh
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Way to
Not
bring the
even-
juice, baby.
I'm
Yeah.
so excited to be on Dialed In.
I'm so happy
Thank
you're
you for
here.
that introduction, Ryan. That
Yeah,
was
of course. It seems like Collin has more for our other guests. So
Well, let's get into
Yeah.
it.
Hold on. I've been wanting to do this for so long. Alrighty, everyone. Our next guest comes from the fantastic suburbs of Acton, Massachusetts. So, yes, there are two Boston fans in the studio right now. So, ha-ha, Ryan. She graduated from Emerson College of Visual Media Arts and Sound Design. Not only is she Medill's greatest audio engineer ever, but she's been an on-air host, live mix assistant, broadcast engineer, and post-production manager. Not to mention she's kind of a badass musician herself. But wait, there's more. She's traveled all over the map from Boston to Los Angeles to Washington, D.C. to New York City. She's worked for the Go Network, Fluent Knowledge, the Worcester Woo Sox, the New York Yankees, NPR, Bloomberg, and SiriusXM. She's now in Medill with a focus in sports media. She's currently the co-host of the best women's hoops show on the 303 network called The Pre-Wrap. And if you haven't watched it by now, what the hell is wrong with you? She's also been published on the Arizona Republic and Golf Week. If you haven't guessed by now, she's the woman in the intro of the show and the woman with the legendary and hella crazy tattoos. But most importantly, above all of that, she's my Brigham and Women's sister. That's
true.
right. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the one, the only, Katherine Silva.
Guys, I have chills. That was an amazing
I feel like I have to apologize to Olivia. I didn't do enough research.
That's
Did
wow.
we get everything? How much
could've
more
told
could
you
we
my
have put in
major.
that?
That's like pretty
I-
much
I-
my life story.
Yeah.
right there.
I was born in,
Yeah, literally the hospital. He even got, well, we were born at the same hospital, so.
Hell
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Why
I
do you
did
think
get
I put on the jacket?
Oh, yeah.
nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
go. Gotta show my best friend some love, you know? All right, so if you haven't guessed by now, March is Women's History Month, but in just 2 days, on Sunday, it is International Women's Day, which means it's the time for us to recognize and appreciate and celebrate the women that not only, have made tremendous contributions to our society, but more importantly, have touched our lives in the best way possible. And I don't think that either of us could have chosen two better ones that checked off both boxes. So this is going to be one heck of an episode.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited. But I'll just open it up right away. What does International Women's Day mean to the two of you?
Yeah, I think this year it's definitely a little bit different in the context of, being here at Medill, being in a sports environment. Speaking for myself, I've loved sports, grown up around sports, been around sports my whole life. But coming here and to this program was kind of a little bit of a pivot in like my career plans. But like at the end of the day, this is what 10-year-old Olivia would have dreamed to do. So my March and my Women's History Day is, I think I have little Olivia in mind for sure.
I think International Women's Day will be a lot of tournament basketball for
Oh, yeah.
NCAA, which will be fun. But no, I agree with Olivia. I think it has a different context this year. I think we're being in journalism school, you're just thinking about the world in a different way. I'm sure you guys are too, of like trying to stay on top of the news and sports and current events and things like that. And I feel like there's a lot going on in the world right now, not just with women, but with other like marginalized groups, more marginalized than women even. So I think it's a big month. It's going to be a big day. And I feel pretty fired up in the past like month. I feel like there's been a lot in women's sports in terms of just like controversy and trying to, I don't know, just like push past the stereotypes and what people think of women. So I definitely feel amped up for this month and to remember why women are so amazing.
Absolutely. I mean, first off, I think one picture that I think signifies that was what happened last month. So February, I want to say, what was it, the 9th or sometime around then? It was National Girls and Women's in Sports Day. And all of us were traveling. We were covering different events. But one picture that I saw on the Medill page that I was extremely proud of was seeing all the women on the Phoenix trip to go to the Waste Management Open all together, including Missy, who, by the way, is a queen.
Yeah, Missy's amazing.
So I think... Let me ask you this, Katherine. Whenever you see that picture and think of that moment and, like, knowing what that day was, like, how does that make you feel when you look past on it?
Yeah, that was a great trip, and there were so many amazing girls on that trip. Amazing women, women on that trip. But it was awesome to be led by such a strong and cool professor. Missy's the first female beat writer for the Bulls, which is pretty crazy.
She was.
So she obviously has an amazing resume, and golf is just such a historically male-dominated sport. So it was very cool to be in that space and make our mark. And I feel like the men as well, but I feel like we all just really supported each other on that trip, and we pumped out a lot of content, and everyone got super, super published, which was very cool. And none of that would have been possible without our awesome female professor.
I know. I think one of the things she did that a lot of other professors didn't do is that not only were you going to get published on Medill reports, but they would send it to the state paper, and you get published right away. I think you have, what, like 2 of them?
I think I got 3 articles published with the Arizona Republic, and then one of them got picked up by Golf Week, which is like obviously the bigger,
the good one
today.
Hell yeah,
cool. But yeah, she sold it exactly. She sold it just really well. Exactly what she sold it as is what the experience was. So I feel like we all got everything out of it that we wanted,
without question. For the people that are watching that don't go to Medill, like, what's something that either of you would want them to understand the most about the fantastic women, both of you included, who go to this school, who work their asses off, who put so much time to like get the best stories out there? Like, what's something that you two think that you two would want them to understand?
I want to take that one.
Yeah, I think especially like Katherine and I have a specific like lens to see that through, being in the sports specialization. I think that could certainly be intimidating for a lot of women, but I mean, we have more women than we do men in our specialization.
Yeah.
Which is just, I mean, it just goes to show that not only are we, meant to be here, do we deserve to be here, are we good enough to be here, smart enough, but we have the support around us. I mean, we have great, like you said, we have great female professors, advisors. Never once while I was here did I ever think that because I was a girl or a woman that I was somehow, I don't know, I knew less than a man, or my opinions were taken less seriously or anything like that. So I think I would say, go all in. You're going to have great people. In, all the guys in our program as well, like that they go really far to make us all, our voices feel included and heard. And, this is a great example, you guys having us on today. So, yeah, I would say go all in. The support is there. You deserve to be here. And, yeah.
Heck yeah. What do you think, Kat?
Yeah, I think it's a really special group, and I agree with Olivia. It feels like it transcends like gender or a lot of like common stereotypes. I think going off of what Olivia said, especially being women in sports, and just to even go a layer deeper, like being gay women in sports and like pretty like openly presenting gay women in sports can be a challenge, because I feel like within like women's basketball or women's soccer, you have a lot of openly LGBTQ
or softball.
How could I forget women? But I think when you think about it in terms of journalism or even like broadcast journalism, there's a very specific look.
Absolutely.
It's like very female, femme presenting and things like that. But I think, at least I can't speak for your experience, but I feel like in terms of my experience, like everybody here has been super welcoming and super accepting, and I think we all just really support each other and show up for each other and want one another to succeed. And I think there's like a competitiveness, but not amongst each other. I think there's a competitiveness because we go to Northwestern and we go to one of the best journalism schools in the country, but I don't think that we are sabotaging each other. I think that is fuel to lift each other up, and we're always pushing one another to be better. And I think that's regardless of gender, of sexuality, of race. Like, so I think it's just, I don't know, I think it's a supportive bunch. So anything that you want to do here as a woman or as a person, you can do.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely feel like there's this understanding between everybody here of like, I understand how hard I work to get here, and therefore I understand how hard you work to get here, and there's just that level of respect that I think everybody kind of shares.
Yeah,
like a good through line too. I feel like we all ended up here, and it's a weird thing where it's almost like we all come from such different backgrounds and places. I don't think all 100 of us, 120, however many of us would be in one room together unless we were in the specific program. But I think that also provides for a really unique experience.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say, like, I think, like, the first day, like, when we were all, like, doing icebreakers and, like, figuring out who we were, I was definitely intimidated because you got to think, like, before I came to Medill, I was setting up barricades and I was, like, doing a lot of event stuff. And somehow, some way, by the grace of God, I got into this program. So I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, so many people are going to have, like, extensive backgrounds in journalism or whatever. I mean, 2 people in our program went to Yale before they came here. I mean, you were in audio. You were a freaking athlete, for crying out loud. There were other people that were movie directors and producers. Like, they actually had extensive background in, like, with legitimate organizations. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, I got a lot of catching up to do because if I'm going to, like, stand out with these people and, like, you know, merge myself with them, then I got to step up my game or else I'm going to shrink. But to your point, I think everybody's, instead of, like, trying to knock the other one down, it's like lifting each other up and making sure that nobody's, you know, left behind and nobody's set back. And I think I'm always a person that thinks, like, actions speak louder than words. It's not just about what you say to them. It's about how you act upon it. If you just say, oh, yeah, no, you totally got this, you're fine, but not necessarily, like, uplift them and, like, with the smaller things in life, like checking on how they're doing or saying, like, you know, texting them, how did everything go, things like that. Those are the things, like, those small gestures just come a long way to, like, building relationships and forming trust. And I think all of us have done a pretty great job of doing that.
Yeah, well, and I think we all recognize too that, like, we're all in this together. You know, like, we're in this field that it's, especially nowadays, it's so hard to, like, break into the job market. And so we're all, like, rooting for each other. You know, we all worked hard to get here, and now we're all working hard while we're here. So I mean, it only makes sense for us to, you know, uplift each other and support each other. And like what you were saying earlier, you know, about how you feel supported by everyone. Like, I hope you know the feeling's mutual, right?
Exactly.
Like, both of us feel supported by both of you and really everybody else in the program. I mean, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Without question.
I think it's also kind of like, me and Monique talk about this a lot, where one day we're going to be colleagues, you know? Like, we're going to be each other's connections out in the world, and maybe we'll have, like, aspiring journalists approaching us and need contacts or connections in whatever
like
area
references.
of the world that
the day
fields.
that somebody messages me on LinkedIn is going to be the day I know that I made it.
100%. And I'm going to be like, I actually don't know, like, that much about PR, but my colleague who I went to school with, Olivia Craycraft, like, and I'll pass them off to you or vice versa. And
pretty
I just
special
feel
that
like
we're going to be able to leave with, you know, so many people that just automatically are your fans, are
like
your
a
support
lifetime
systems, are your
connection.
friends. Yeah.
Olivia, on a similar note, because you were at the Super Bowl with us, obviously, and I want to ask you about your experience you had on opening night. Like, you've talked to me and Collin about it. I'm sure Catherine's heard about it.
Good story.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited to hear about it again because, I mean, it really is a great story.
Oh, I forget the name. I'll remember in a second. But, so opening night, chaos. The most chaotic environment I've ever been in, undoubtedly.
I don't think I heard about this.
Yeah, I don't know if you
Oh, my gosh, it was a nightmare. Go ahead.
Yeah, so crazy night. We're all walking around. The Patriots went first, and I didn't really have to talk to any of them. So I was just kind of taking it all in for the first round, pretty much. But I'm walking around and, seeing my colleagues succeed in doing really cool things and talking to really cool people. And so that helps me think like, okay, I can be here too. Like, we're all in the same place. And also, seeing other people do cool things, I'm like, wait, I'm here. Might as well try.
Yeah.
So I turned to, I think it was Mike beside me, and I was like, I think I'm going to go ask Drake May a question. And he looked at the crowd of, 100 plus probably reporters and cameras around Drake May, and he was like, you got it. Like, okay, go do it then.
No, and that's not an exaggeration, too. Like, it was probably at least 100.
Oh, my God.
No, like 30 minutes before the whole thing was supposed to start, the line was like out the wazoo.
Yeah. So I walk up and I'm just listening for a while. I'm trying. You got to squeeze your way in.
Yes.
There's equipment everywhere. You got to squeeze your way in. So probably 15 or 20 minutes later, I can finally squeeze my way up to the front. So now I'm at the front, but I'm also the shortest person at the front. There's also cameras on either shoulder, and there's just a lot of loud, mostly male voices surrounding me.
You got the Vrabes, you know how he always lets
Yes.
his female reporter
Starts with the women first,
started doing that,
Yeah.
so that could have given you an edge.
Yeah, so I'm up there, and I'm trying 3 or 4 times to ask a question. And every time I'm like, like trying to say, Drake, listen, look at me, listen to me. But there's always a louder voice. There's always a louder male voice surrounding me, and that's just, life, I guess. But
True.
so I'm trying, and I'm like really discouraged. And I'm like kind of thinking about maybe giving up. And I feel a tap behind me. And I turn around, and it was a female reporter with an ESPN logo on her sleeve. And she just goes, you got this. and I turned back around and I asked that next damn question.
Yeah.
I was like, I am
Let's
not,
go.
dude. I was like, I am not going to let anybody else ask the next question. It's gonna be me.
That's amazing.
I asked the question. I thought it was a good one. He had a good response. I saw people use it later, and then I went and found the reporter later. Her name is
Who was it?
blanking me right now. She runs Sports-ish. Someone look it up right now.
Was this the one we met at Radio Row?
Lily something? No, someone else.
Wait, dude,
She runs the
that's
account
amazing.
Sports-ish, which got picked. It was her own show.
I think
account.
it's Lily Betts.
Yeah, no. So
That's the first
Lily-
thing that popped
maybe
up.
she got married and her name changed, but
Okay.
Lily someone. And then her show got picked up by ESPN because it was so good. So then I found her because I turned around after the question to say thank you and she was gone.
Really?
Yeah,
Which
so-
is like low-key even better.
I know.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, that's amazing.
So then I DM'd her. I found her and I DM'd her on Instagram and I said,
Did she respond?
yeah, I said, hey, I'm the girl who you tapped my shoulder and you said you got this when I was talking to Drake May. Like, thank you so much. I'm never going to say thank you. And she was like, oh my gosh, I love this. Thank you for reaching out. Like,
Yeah.
there's always going to be louder male voices. And, I'm just glad I could encourage you.
Do you see?
That's
me, like,
awesome.
Dude,
really
that was
tearing
me.
up?
I know.
I'm, like, emotional.
It was
Oh my gosh.
incredible.
What,
It
like-
was because just the fact that she just like saw me there,
Yeah.
did it, and then left because
Yeah.
it's just like
it wasn't even about her. Like, it was just
Exactly.
like a passing of the torch.
And
a
I
little bit.
guarantee that when she, 10 years earlier or when she was my age, somebody did that for her.
Yeah.
And
or
gave
she
her...
wished somebody
Exactly,
had, you know?
exactly. And it's just, I don't know, that's just a great reminder of like, I can't wait to do that for somebody,
Yeah.
for the, the young girls that come up behind us. Like, that's what a cool thing that is.
And I'm sure it was a good reminder too that like you did deserve to be there.
Yeah.
You earned your
question.
spot there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that
What
was awesome.
like gave you? Sorry, not to be like asking questions.
Go for it.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
What like gave you like? Do you think her doing that you were like I'm gonna project more, or do you think like the moment kind of aligned itself and you were able to like find an opening, or like both maybe, or
I
it
think
all
I just
happened so fast?
I think I just didn't wasn't gonna accept the fact that I wasn't gonna ask that question next.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
before it was like, okay, I'll try to get it in, and then that time it was like, no, I'm asking it. So I was definitely louder.
Yeah.
I definitely was quicker. Like
Yeah.
you have to, as soon as he's finished asking that question, which feels so like rude, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can't even give the man a chance to breathe before
Yeah,
he gets the
right.
next question, but it's
Right.
what you have to do.
Yeah.
So I was just louder, kind of, stood taller, put my shoulders forward a little bit more so he could see me. It was just that confidence thing. It was just like, I literally in that instant turned from maybe I can do this to no, I'm here and I'm going to do this right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell
That was
yeah.
pretty special.
So
Yeah.
cool.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Ryan.
No, you got it.
No, I was just gonna say first off, it's one thing to like walk up to Drake May's table and like feel like, okay, when the heck is it going to be my turn? But
Yeah.
that moment alone is just, I feel like that's what everybody should do for everybody, not just like women in particular. If there's a male reporter that's, seeing a women reporter like get, turned down over and over and over again, it's like, you got to think to yourself, okay, I have a job to do, but somebody else needs one as well.
Yeah.
Like they need some quotes. They need to get their story across. And I think it's like, I feel like the moral obligation should be to just take a step back and let them, get the first chance because they deserve it more. And more importantly, it's like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen to you? Okay. Because like, I don't think like men understand like how privileged they actually are. Like they don't get the same like treatment and they don't get like the same like responsibilities, or I should say like the other way around, because it's like, I mean, I might get emotional, but I think it's like you two deserve, like you said, you deserve to be there. You deserve to get that question. More importantly, you deserve to get recognized and appreciated and supported. And I think like if one person could just like lend a helping hand and take that step back, like I said, that just makes the world a better place. And I feel like there's some people out there that don't recognize that and just double down on their stupidity. So
Yeah, because it's easy to forget. Like, I mean, obviously journalism is very competitive, but it's, you also want to like help out your not even coworkers, your fellow journalists.
Exactly.
Just because, I mean, it's very competitive, but like this is someone's livelihood that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, I think it is definitely important, even in a field like journalism that is so competitive, to help out our our friends.
Yep.
Yeah.
Without question.
Yeah. One more question before we go more into the football stuff, because we got a lot to talk about today. For both of you, who are your top 5 women in sports?
Woo-hoo.
Here we
And it
go.
can be athletes, coaches, announcers,
Okay.
people on TV.
Okay. Whew. Oh man.
Yeah, a
this
lot
is
to think
so
about.
hard.
I know.
I mean,
'Cause there's
You
so
can
many
condense
incredible
it down too.
okay. I do want to do like coaches or people that aren't just like on the field or on the court too, but I mean, definitely like Simone Biles, I feel like is a goat for sure.
She was my commencement speaker.
No way.
Oh, wow.
What?
She's like a true.
It was awesome.
She's like goat, like men or women. Like
Oh,
she's
yeah.
like
Oh,
probably like one
for
of the greatest
sure.
athletes ever.
And just and the way she speaks out about mental health awareness and
Yep.
that.
the way she came back.
Dude,
after the
women
twisties.
athletes are so amazing. Cause name like a well-known female athlete who isn't also an activist.
I know. It's true.
Name a well-known male athlete that's not an activist.
Well,
There's a million of them.
It's
You know.
because for women's sports, it's like built into the sport.
Yeah.
That's why I feel so drawn to it, because
Yeah.
there's so much intersectionality with
Absolutely.
like real world problems, because just being a female athlete is your activism. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Yep.
So, but yeah, Simone for sure. Do you want to do
Yeah, I
that?
actually she wasn't on my list and I was thinking about it like the other day, but I'm going to put Maggie Nichols on there.
Nice.
She also, for the listeners who might not know, she was athlete A in the USA Gymnastics versus Larry Nassar case.
Yeah.
And she also, I was part of a club in college called Leaders in Interpersonal Violence Education, and she was our grand speaker at the end. We
That's so cool.
showed the documentary, and then she came and spoke. Which was just incredible, because what a fucking terrifying. Sorry, I don't know if you
So
can curse on this show.
crazy.
You can.
What a terrifying thing to
One of the
do. She's up there for
craziest.
me. Just
Yeah.
courageous,
Yeah.
I think my initial person when you asked this question was Erin Andrews, because she
Oh yeah.
like when I was a little kid, I would watch Erin Andrews on the sideline of NFL games, and I told my dad I want to be her one day. Like that's literally
Yep.
where all of this started for me, was
Yeah.
watching Erin Andrews. And I'll never forget the Richard Sherman interview where we all know
Yelling
it.
at
Yes.
the camera, yeah.
And she just stayed so composed, and she stayed so relaxed, and she's had her own
Crazy.
all sorts of crazy shit has happened to her. There was that whole hotel, like just all that,
yeah.
and it's
I
just
forgot about
So
that.
nice.
yeah, and it's just reminders of things that only happen to women.
Yeah.
Like these are just powerful. When women get in power, shit happens to them that doesn't happen to other people. But again, she's so strong and so cool, and now she's like also just like a celebrity, and she's like best friends with all these NFL players. She's just like a badass.
Yeah.
I think she's
Yeah,
so
she's
cool.
cool.
And the show she does with Carissa Thompson is
Yeah.
absolutely
That's so
fantastic.
fun.
Yeah.
It's a good show. I like to listen to that one. That's a good one.
I'm gonna put Holly Rowe up there too. I love Holly Rowe.
Holly Rowe.
love Holly Rowe.
I love
she
Holly Rowe.
is such a darling.
She
so
is.
charming.
Yes, she rocks.
Love Rebecca Lobo too.
Yes.
Her and Ryan, what's his name?
Ryan Rucco.
Ryan Rucco.
Yeah.
They're such.
Oh my gosh,
I
they're a
want
match
them to
made in
call
heaven.
Every game.
Yes.
Every game I'm on like the edge of my seat. They're such a good pair. And like, yeah, obviously her.
Pam Oliver, I'll add.
Yeah, Pam
also.
Oliver's great. Taylor Brooks
Yep.
is a good one. These are all, I guess, just like female journalists.
Yeah.
But Mina Kimes. Oh,
Yeah.
Mina
Oh,
Kimes.
yeah.
she's like
Queen.
one of the smartest like
Yes.
analysts in football,
Yes.
Yeah.
male or female. Like
She's probably the best one on the NFL Live one, hands down.
easy. Yeah, she's so smart, so dang smart.
Yeah, I always think Doris Burke too for
Yes,
NBA.
Doris
course.
Burke is
Classic.
amazing.
A darling.
I've always been a huge Laura Rutledge fan.
Yeah,
I mean,
Laura
she's probably
Rutledge is
my
great.
favorite show host. Her, Shea Cornett, obviously. I think Kimberly Martin's a good one because she's had so much extensive experience elsewhere.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of
Serena. Serena's my favorite. She's the greatest tennis player ever.
Oh, I was
Oh,
gonna
yes,
say
yes,
Well,
of
she
course.
like revolutionized tennis. And
Oh my
also
God.
just as a black woman in tennis.
Billie Jean King.
Yeah,
Of course, of course.
great. Billie Jean is a good one for sure. I'm trying to think of who else. Like modern goats, I like. Oh, you know who I would say? Like Dawn Staley is such a goat.
Dawn
Oh,
Staley's
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
there.
She's amazing.
Just transform that program. Like,
oh my god.
Yeah. And right now, I think they just beat the crap out of Kentucky.
They did, yeah.
So they're on to the semis.
Yep.
And she's such a beloved coach too by her players.
I know.
She is so good. Nobody develops a big like Dawn Staley.
No.
Nope.
Yeah. Which, speaking of, Asia Wilson came out of South Carolina. She's definitely a goat to me.
Yes.
She's like probably like an emerging goat.
She's like, I mean, she's the best player in the league.
Yeah.
And it's
Oh,
not even,
hands
it's
down.
not even close.
It's not even close. It's crazy, crazy, crazy.
Yeah.
I gotta shout out some softball players.
Yes.
Let's hear it.
Nigel Kennedy. I mean, she was the first NCAA softball player to make a million in NIL, and then she did it again. It was the second ever. So she's a goat. Jordy Ball is a goat. Just, I mean, like those are the types of people that I think are revolutionizing the game right now. Those are the people that the little girls are looking up to the most. Sam Landry last year for Oklahoma, just such a cool story. She was really close with the Texas Tech coach's daughter who passed away in a car accident when they were teammates together.
Wow.
And so she wore his daughter's number, and then after they beat her, Texas Tech beat Oklahoma in the semis, they had such an emotional moment, and it was just like bigger than the game.
Yeah,
and,
of course.
And she speaks out about mental health. Maggie got to meet her doing stuff with The Hidden Opponent, which is a mental health advocacy for student athletes group. She's in the AUSL right now, killing it. So those are some of the softball goats that I'm looking up to right now for sure.
Hell yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think we could talk about incredible women in sports
Forever.
all day.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No question.
Wait, Megan Rapinoe.
Oh yeah.
I feel like especially
Sue
during
Bird.
both of them during the like whole hockey controversy. I feel like it's cropping up like her like press conference or interview in 2016 about like going to the White House when she was like, I'm not going to the fucking White House.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Why am I going to the fucking White House? And it's just like so iconic.
Well, on that note, Hillary Knight and
I was just going to say, yeah,
gotta throw them.
Yeah, for
Out there,
sure,
too.
for sure.
easily.
Very good.
I think we could go all day with this, but who's ready to talk some football now?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right.
Go.
So, Olivia, you're the only Bengals fan that I actually know in my life.
The only
That's
just like
surprising.
me, only fans of
Oh
our
my
team.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the Bengals have they have a pretty good and loyal fan base considering
Loyal,
the
for
amount
sure.
considering the amount of crap that they've been through over the last 40 years since they last went to since Sam Weiss took them to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
It's been kind of rough. I mean, you did have that great year in 21 that
It's a better year in 22, I would say. That
Yeah,
ended
two
a
in-
great
little bit
years.
better,
Yeah, you
yes.
went
that
back.
ended in catastrophe.
Yeah,
I
that
know.
was crazy.
We'll get into that.
Oh,
But
shoot. Don't go too deep.
Yeah.
But explain your Bengals fandom because I know Ryan said it. You're from Milford, Ohio.
Yep.
Obviously, you don't want to be a Browns fan. Smart decision, by the way.
Yep.
But
Well, I am. Milford's 20 minutes from Cincinnati and about 5 hours from Cleveland.
Yes.
That helps also.
Exactly. But watching the Bengals growing up, like, who was your favorite player?
Yeah, so Growing up, I really expected to play wide receiver in the NFL.
Yeah,
Don't really know what went wrong there.
Let's go.
But that was kind of the goal.
Yeah.
So AJ Green was my favorite player growing up by far.
Oh,
nice.
He was
legendary.
my GOAT. Also Pac-Man Jones, he was my favorite. Ocho Cinco when I was
my
younger.
God.
Like
Yeah.
those were my people.
Oh my gosh, that was such a fun era.
Oh my God.
And that
I mean,
they
we-
didn't win a playoff game.
Well, yes, it was awful, but we didn't have hope back then. So
Right.
it was so much more. It was so much better to be a fan
Yeah,
when you
that's
didn't
true.
expect them to do.
Yeah, they make it to the playoffs like, oh my gosh,
Yes.
best day ever. We already won.
I'm going to ask a question that might trigger you a little bit. So, 2000, yeah, you need some support right here. So, 2015, wild card against
Steelers.
Pittsburgh.
Yep.
AJ McCarron, you're up 16-15. You need one last stop. The Vontaze Burfict hit happens.
yes, I remember.
Where were you in that
I
moment?
actually know exactly where I was. Well, not exactly. I was in a hotel room. I don't remember where.
Okay.
For a softball tournament with my dad because he took me to all my softball tournaments. And we were watching the game, and I was half asleep. I probably had this 8 a.m. game the next day, which meant my travel softball coach was crazy, which meant at 6 a.m., be there, whatever. Anyway, when that Vontaze Burfict play happened, my dad threw the remote at the TV in the
At the hotel TV.
Did he break the TV?
No, it did the little like thing where
pixelate?
the pixels get,
Yeah.
get a little
It was
weird.
fun, yeah.
He threw it, and I mean, my poor dad. Like you think I have?
Yeah.
He's been a
Yeah,
Bengals fan his
right.
entire life.
Oh,
Never
man.
seen them win a Super Bowl. So yeah, I actually remember that like vividly, and I remember kind of hiding under the covers a little bit because I was a little scared after
Yeah,
that.
of course.
To this day, that pissed me off because here's the thing. As a Patriots fan, you know, it was either going to be one.
Careful.
I know. It was gonna be one of two things. Either the Broncos were gonna win the AFC or the Patriots. And because the Steelers won, they were a road team. I think they were like what, a 6th seed if I'm not mistaken. They got to play the Broncos because the higher seed always gets to play the lower one. If the Bengals had won that, we would have played Cincy in the second round, and the Broncos, if I'm not mistaken, would have played the Chiefs. And the last time the Chiefs played the Broncos, Peyton Manning got benched for Brock Osweiler. He was absolutely horrible. So I always think back, like, you know what? If that freaking hit did not happen, we would have played the Bengals, and we would have won easily. Then we would have beaten the Chiefs in the conference championship because we ended up beating them in the second round, who we ended up playing. And I would have felt confident about the Patriots actually beating the Panthers in Carolina, which is ironically in San Francisco. So that's the one time I've never forgave the Bengals, but you made up for it by beating Patrick Mahomes. So
Classic Patriots fan.
I was gonna say it must
Make
be
that about
so
you.
rough.
I'm just, hey, you don't know what it's like.
Sit that one
Well,
out.
speaking of Collin and his Patriots fandom, last week Collin said that Joe Burrow was not a top 5 quarterback.
I don't even want to like dignify that with a response. Like you just come on,
Yeah,
Colin.
What?
that just
What?
can't
When
be
When did I
healthy.
say that?
He's just fishing.
When he's
Yeah.
healthy,
can't be true.
when
When
You're
did I say
rage
that?
baiting
top
right
five.
now.
You know he's top 5.
I'm not.
Healthy.
I
Come on.
don't know he's top 5.
What?
Would you
Don't
put Drake
speak-
May? Would
Who
you put
else
Drake May?
would
I think
be
he's.
in there?
I think he's better than Drake May.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
What did you say?
I wouldn't put Drake May in my top 5.
I would have put him in the top 10. That's what I said last week.
Yeah, he did say he didn't put him in the top 5 last week. I'll give
Yeah.
him credit for that.
Okay.
I know. Kept myself composed. Shocking. So I said Mahomes was 1. I said
Yep.
Josh Allen was 2. I said Lamar 3.
Yep.
And he's shaking on 3 because he hasn't gone to a Super Bowl and he's got 2 MVPs.
Great.
I got. Go ahead, Kat.
I was just gonna say like Burrow's got to be 4 after that.
I was gonna say Matthew Stafford,
I always say
Or
Joe Burrow's
Stafford,
4.
But yeah, I would
Yeah.
say Burrow's probably 4.
and then I put Jalen Hurts at 5.
Oh,
Jalen
no
Hurts
way.
above Joe Burrow?
No
Jalen
way.
Hurts has
Colin.
here. You know why I said Joe
No.
Burrow wasn't top 5 though? There are quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls, that have won MVPs, that we've all said at one point or another, oh yeah, Joe Burrow is definitely better than that guy. Matthew Stafford, Jalen Hurts, Sam Darnold just recently. I'm not saying Burrow's better than Darnold. Don't worry.
Jalen Hurts won the Super Bowl because he had the greatest O-line of all time.
That's
Joe
true.
Burrow
He won MVP
barely
though.
lost the Super Bowl having the worst O-line
That's
of all
true.
time. And
Well-
he should have won the MVP.
Nope.
true.
What are you
2 years
talking about?
ago, he should have won MVP.
Well, 2 years.
Based on numbers, he should have.
Okay, based on numbers, he should have, but they
But that's
missed
what
the
I'm saying
playoffs.
is that he might not have an MVP, but he had an MVP
Season.
quality season.
Listen, Kobe Bryant could have won the MVP in 2006 because of his numbers and the people that he had to play with. They barely made the playoffs. They were like 41-40, but he didn't win it. They gave it to Steve Nash because that team was better.
Well, it's about narrative too, right? You
A little
like,
bit.
It's Like if your team doesn't make the playoffs, you're not
No, you're
winning
not going
MVP.
to.
You're
No.
not going to win MVP. That's just the bottom line.
And maybe that's how it should be, but doesn't mean he didn't have an MVP.
I don't
quality
know.
season.
I mean, I think I agree, but it's tough. Like, I think, going back to NBA, like, I think Jokic should have won over SGA last year.
I agree with that.
It's like if your coach gets fired, like, you're not winning MVP.
Yeah.
But
Probably
you're
not.
averaging a triple-double? Like, who averages a triple-double?
And more importantly, you were like, what, a 4th seed or a 5th seed, and you still, like, put up godlike numbers?
Yeah.
It's insane. But also, the other thing I wanted to mention, not only just the fact that other quarterbacks have accomplished more since Burrow last went to the Super Bowl, but, like, pretty much half of Joe Burrow's career has been on the injury report.
I know.
The torn ACL, the appendicitis, the calf, the
But he
wrist,
still comes
the
back
turf toe.
strong. The turf toe is crazy.
Turf toe, yeah.
Turf Joe.
Well, it's like, yeah, he's got 2 Comeback Player of the Year awards. That's not the one you want to win. You want to win
Trust me.
Super Bowls.
Colin, I'm not
of
disagreeing
course.
with any of this, but I'm saying when he is healthy, he is a top 5
Yeah.
quarterback.
So where are
in
you
the
putting
NFL.
him at 6 then?
Right at 6. And then everything else.
You know he's better than Jalen.
And then everything else, I mean, I think we can let everything speak for itself. But I did want to stay on topic
That's
with
okay.
the.
This season, he's gonna make it
This is the
undeniable.
one.
Oh,
Just you wait.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Hopefully he
Don't
doesn't
worry.
have to put up 40 points every game.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest headlines that came out this week, Trey Hendrickson, not only not getting franchise tag, but he's officially departing in free agency.
Yep.
Last year was obviously a little bit of a offseason circus with the contract negotiations. Are you happy about it? Are you sad? Are you neutral? What are your thoughts?
I think I was sad about it last year when all the chaos was going on. I think I speak for all Bengals fans to say we knew this was gonna happen.
Yep.
And we kind of had a year to kind of cope. I mean, last season he played 2 games, so like
Not even.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't feel too beat up about it. I mean, it's sad. It's definitely sad. He's one of like when Logan Wilson left, it was kind of one of those things where it's like, oh, these people that I've been watching for a while that are, Cincinnati kids in my heart that, were part of that great 2021 run are leaving. The team's changing. The dynamics are changing. But at the same time, something needs to change, and you have to let go of some of your stars in order to make things change. And, I'm thinking now with DJ Moore and Stephon Diggs, and I'm thinking, should we let go of T. Higgins? Should we make something? Should we do something like this?
That's bold.
But yeah, I don't want to, and so that's why I think letting go of Trey is. I think it was time. I think it was time on the organization side. I think it was time on his side. Obviously, I'm going to be cheering for him wherever he goes. He's great guy. Did a lot for Cincinnati.
So let's say you are the GM in charge. I mean, you kind of brought this up earlier, but like, what else are you fixing? Because Zach Taylor's staying.
Yeah.
Al Golden's staying.
Yep.
Pretty much
Tobin's
nobody's getting fired.
Yep.
So at least there's that. But who else do you think they should move on from? Who would you rather keep?
Yeah.
I don't think the Bengals have too many free agents that are notable enough to get a big deal. But
yeah, I want Geno Stone to never sniff the city of Cincinnati ever again. I want him to never put on.
Oh,
It
man.
should have happened a long time ago.
I want him
Ravens
gone.
legend Geno Stone.
But
Oh
he
my
will
God.
be gone. He will
Yeah.
be.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely. I mean, defense, right? That is the only focus this offseason. We got to fill the safety position. We got to replace Trey. We got to, we need veterans. I think we need veterans on the D line in the pass rush. Demetrius Knight is, some of these people are kind of up and coming, and I think with good coaching, I believe in Al Golden. I think he deserves more than 1 year to prove himself. I think he inherited a terrible defense. I don't think he was necessarily responsible for it.
Right.
I'm also a Notre Dame fan, so I'm biased.
Exactly. I was going to bring that up.
But I think we need veterans. I think that would, if I was the GM, that's what I'd be looking for in this free agency period right now, is to bring on people that have experience.
Do you trade T. Higgins to boost your defense, or do you think you can?
I don't think so right now.
Okay.
I think the only reason that T and Jamar are as good as they are is because they have each other, right? Jamar, you get rid of T, Jamar Chase is not going to be open once all season ever.
Double team him every
Exactly.
play. Yes.
And maybe this is, the definition of insanity or whatever, but I believe, like I do every single year, that there's hope this year that if Burrow stays healthy and T and Jamar stay healthy, then we're never out of any game. And, with as bad as the defense has been, it was so much better in 2021. But in 2022, it wasn't that great. I mean, we traded Jesse Bates, and we still, made it to the AFC Championship game. So I believe with Joe Burrow, with Jamar, with Chase Brown coming back, I think that, there's always hope.
I love the optimism. Gotta hand it to you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat as you.
Yeah.
Always optimistic. Never have any reason to be optimistic, but
No.
You
But
know.
I'm ready to be hurt again.
yeah.
Yeah. At any
Me
moment.
too.
Oh, man.
That's, yeah.
All right. Katherine, your turn. All right.
Let's do it.
The interrogation.
I actually get to talk about the Patriots with Katherine. It's a rarity.
It's a pleasure.
I know. But I'm going to ask the same question. Besides Tom Brady, obviously, who was your favorite player growing up?
Ooh, I was a big Wes Welker girl. Like, I feel
Oh
like I
my
had
God.
such a crush on Wes Welker, and he was like so small.
Yes.
But like so cute. Sorry, but just so effective. Him and like Edelman too, because I feel like they had such like underdog stories where like you wouldn't really have thought of them as like big impact players from where they came from.
Oh, no.
And they like, I mean, Edelman like won us a Super Bowl. Welker didn't ever win a Super Bowl.
No.
I think,
The only
but,
thing he was recognized for was the dropsies.
Yep. But I still loved Welker. Yeah. And Will Fork. I was mixing up the two.
Heck yeah.
Will Fork was a dog.
I remember.
Wes Welker, the most
Risky.
Oh my
Sorry,
God.
No, I'm just.
I was going to say Wes Welker, the most gorgeous short king in
Yes,
Foxborough.
100%.
Easily.
Good, more of a crush on Wes Welker than Tom Brady.
Kinda, yeah. Well, come on. Everyone was going towards Tom Brady and his
Yeah. It
had to be
man
different.
Uggs.
Yeah,
I
more-
remember that campaign with the man Uggs. That made waves around Massachusetts for sure.
Less competition.
Adam Vinatieri, obviously, icon. What about you?
I was going to say, honestly, like, I was a huge Ben Jarvis Green Ellis fan.
Really?
Like when they were like the year they got to the Super Bowl, like when they played the Giants the second time, I was like, I don't know how in God's name Green Ellis didn't get more carries.
I
Him
know.
and Danny Woodhead,
I know.
those two were like
That's
a
true.
lethal underrated
That's
duo.
true.
I'm trying to think who else. Like defensively, I always loved watching the offense. So obviously there's Gronk and
Amendola. was
Amendola.
great, Yeah.
Yep. I think like, back in the day there was like, my God, there's so many names I can't. If you don't, first of all, I was 6 years old when they went undefeated. So watching Randy Moss that year after nobody expected him to have that legendary record-setting year, that was absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, obviously I was a Brady guy, but I think, Rob Ninkovich, Patrick Chung, the McCourties,
Yeah.
Steven Gostkowski. Nobody gives the special teams any credit.
I know. We had a great special team.
I know.
I was just talking with my Uber driver yesterday, not about special teams, but about just football, and he was a Giants fan. So I was like, you got our number a couple times.
What?
Well, he did. They did. I
did.
know. And
No, I was just surprised that was where the conversation went.
well, we were just ebbing and flowing, but
Yeah.
I was saying how sad I was that like we didn't get Randy Moss a chip, like because
Oh my gosh.
it so bad. So
do you remember where you were when you watched that Super Bowl?
I was at my friend's parents' house, and I just remember the vibes being absolutely atrocious. Like, when you're a kid and you're like, yeah, like I mean, I knew that like what was going on, but you were like, yeah, I know the adults are like mad. Like, I
Yes.
know I probably shouldn't like ask for something or like speak up. Like the vibes are not good. That was definitely what it was.
The one thing I will always remember about that, it's not the helmet catch. It was what happened right before it. The dropped pick from Asante Samuel, which is why I will never take him I will never take him seriously when he's like going off on people on Twitter, because it's like, you're saying, okay, 2006, yeah, you might have had a great season. Everyone's going to remember you dropping that ball through your hands when you could have completed the perfect season. So please, with all due respect, just sit this one out.
That helmet catch is like one of the craziest.
With Ronnie Harrison.
It's so crazy.
Oh my gosh.
It's like haunts me.
Even
when I
Eli
close
getting
my
out of
eyes.
that sack. was
Yes.
like-
Yeah.
Yes.
I think-
it was unreal.
I think that's why Ronnie Harrison isn't in the Hall of Fame. It's because, like, I mean, obviously, like, Ronnie Harrison was a vicious player, extremely physical, one of the best safeties during his era, who had 2 championships, by the way. But people will say he might have been a dirty player, but also that lasting image of him getting mossed like that was... And apparently the guy ran the wrong route. That's
Really?
what makes it unforgivable. Yeah, that's the legend of the story. So
Crazy. Let's stop talking about that Super Bowl.
yeah,
Think
let's
of all the other amazing
let's
ones.
talk about this past year because you know what's funny? I wasn't kidding. Before the playoffs, because our schedules are so busy, like
Yeah.
I don't think we had a lot of chances to like actually talk about this
I
team.
know we didn't really sit down and talk about the Pats, but I feel like we had different takes because like
Yeah.
you were always riding so high, and I always felt like kind of skeptical. Like I saw this coming all the way through.
You thought they would lose?
I mean, our schedule was just so easy. It
Wow.
Fans are saying it, man.
it was just
Especially her.
I just wasn't bought in on anybody. I mean, I
and
wasn't
then
even.
Bo Nix exploded, and it
Yes,
was like, well,
exactly.
of course this would happen.
Well, we were like squeaking through every game
Yeah.
in the playoffs, and Drake May played so bad. He was not playing like himself. He was playing scared. He wasn't seeing the field well. His decision making was not good. I don't know
Yeah.
if it was because our schedule was so easy, and then we were actually playing playoff caliber teams, or if it was that he got scared during the playoffs.
So do you think they got it right with Matthew Stafford as MVP?
I think so. I think so.
Why are you doing this to me?
I love Drake May and I love my Pats. But I do think that. But I also think I'm thinking about it like from a voter and narrative perspective, and like I think it makes more sense. But don't you think that like
Well,
Stafford had a better season? Also thinking about like May's like playoff run.
If
Not
you wanna-
that it counts through the playoffs.
if you want to talk about it from like a numbers perspective, then yes,
Yeah.
obviously. But like, this was my whole problem with the whole thing. Josh Allen gets MVP over Lamar Jackson,
I
despite the fact
disagree with that completely. Lamar should have won.
Lamar had the better numbers, but Josh Allen had
Never won an
he
MVP
did not have a
before.
strong supporting cast.
Yep.
Like James Cook barely got 1,000 yards. The receiving cast
Yeah.
compared to Lamar's
Yeah.
was not good. I just want consistency.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna give Josh Allen the MVP based off that, Drake May should have had at least an upper edge, but I still
fair.
blame Dan Orlovsky for that because
fair.
that's his guy, that's his teammate, and it's his best friend.
Yeah.
So obviously it was inevitable. I expected it, but I was like,
Unfortunately, I think the narrative, like, it kind of just resets every year. You know what I mean?
I don't think the MVP will ever be consistent.
No.
And that's
Yeah.
like the nature of the MVP because people don't want to see the same player win every year.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
it definitely felt like a lifetime achievement for Matthew
Yes,
Stafford. And like it makes sense because Drake May, sophomore season, he's going to have a lot of, good seasons ahead of him, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Probably get another chance at MVP.
I mean, he's
Stafford,
1 year
this
younger
might be
than
it.
I am. He's like 23.
I know,
Actually
it's ridiculous. He's like my age.
Yeah.
And he's out there in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's nuts. I did want to ask you this, though.
Mm.
So Stephon Diggs just got cut.
Yes.
It's going to save them, what, $16 million in cap space?
Yes.
They're on the market for A.J. Brown.
Right.
DJ Moore was kind of rumored in there. I saw
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill as well.
Yeah.
Alec Pierce is the hottest name on the free agent market.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think they should do at wide receiver?
Oof, it's a hard thing. It's a hard decision. I think cutting Diggs was absolutely the right move.
I agree.
It saves us money. He's also going to trial April 1st?
Something
which is
like that,
crazy.
yeah.
And he posted what? How many yards did he post?
Like 1,000 yards.
Did he have a 1,000-yard season?
1,000 yards and 4 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns.
Yep.
I just don't think his numbers were good enough to justify the amount of money that he was gonna get this year, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that he is the true X receiver for that team. I just don't think that he is.
I actually agree with that because the numbers were great. He had a couple big games here and there. In the playoffs, though,
He disappeared.
when you're supposed to be the number one option, the last thing you could do is barely get 3 catches for 30, 25 yards.
Right.
And more importantly, the offensive struggles weren't on him. I'm not going to do that, but it's
No.
when you see those struggles, you need your big guys to step up.
Yeah.
And there were several moments where you're like, what the heck is he doing?
Well, where was he in the Super Bowl? I mean, I know that Drake made that O-line was so bad, and he
Yes.
had no time to make any decisions really, but he was non-existent.
Yep. It was. I've been on record of this multiple times. It was heartbreaking, but
Yeah.
like you said, it just wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I know.
I don't know if I wouldn't even touch Tyreek Hill at this point.
No.
With his age and his injury, obviously. I'm not sold on AJ Brown either, to be
He's
honest.
also drama too.
Yeah, I
you
was
know?
gonna.
Drama, he's
you're-
So you think they
too.
go for Pierce, or
Do you draft a wide receiver?
not in the first round?
I know.
Especially with the pick that you have, it's like 31st, something
Yeah,
like
it's the
that.
31st pick.
No, I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, yeah, you just sort of talked about it. Like Stephon Diggs was a lot of baggage. You mentioned trial April 1st, and
Yeah.
like the other guys on the market, AJ Brown, Tyreek.
Yeah,
There's
after
just
seeing
as much
what-
baggage
after
there.
seeing what AJ Brown did with his teammates and
mouthing
coach,
off.
I don't want him
Yeah.
on my team.
Yeah.
No way. No way.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about any of those guys on my team, especially when you already got a Super Bowl, roster.
Yeah.
I know Vrabel and him have the connection from Tennessee,
They do.
but I also don't even know if like the Eagles are really trying to shop him around. I mean, they're a team that I'm super interested to see what they're gonna look like.
I saw one report that said the Patriots offered like a first and a third,
Really?
and Howie Roseman turned it down. So
Wow.
my guess is their asking price is going to be a little bit steeper than
Definitely.
it would have been expected. But
I mean, they kind of have like Jamar Chase is like obviously the best.
We'll take
receiver in the
Jamar
league.
But
But like I feel
Can't
like
have
the
him.
Eagles have a similar like Devonta Smith
Yeah.
and like AJ Brown situation going on where the two of them are so well matched together.
Right.
Jamar Chase is obviously the best in the league.
Yeah.
not Justin Jefferson
Gonna
or
put JJ
JSN.
or Puka maybe.
Puka.
I still think it's Jamar.
Yeah.
I
I
think
think
that's fair.
Jamar.
I'd say it's Jamar for sure.
Definitely.
I'm gonna transition a little bit because
Yes.
I'm happy you brought up Monique because I'm gonna tell this story. So the Chiefs were playing the Jaguars on Monday Night Football, and usually when I'm watching a game by myself, I have my notebook. I'm taking notes on what's happening like every single drive, and I'm paying attention. And Monique is texting me. She's like watching the game as well. And she's like, Collin, what are your thoughts? So forth and so forth. 5 minutes later, I get another text, and it's from her. And it's literally the same thing that Monique is texting me. And they're telling me like the same messages over and over again. So I'm literally saying to myself, like, are you with Monique right now? Because I literally thought those two were in the same room. And then Katherine and I ended up like chatting about the game the rest of the way.
You weren't in the same room.
No, but Monique was like, Collin is literally like football Google. And I was like,
Yeah, he
let me see what that's about.
Exactly. But like, I noticed like as we were talking about it, when it comes to the Chiefs, you are so protective of like Patrick Mahomes.
Dynasty.
And
that's all.
And that's not the first time this has happened. When they played the Texans, literally the same thing. It's like, Collin, what do you expect Patrick Mahomes to do out there, despite the fact that he threw like 3 interceptions in that game? But that's not what I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
So Travis Kelce,
Right.
he's like a little bit on the fence.
Right.
Should I come back? Should I retire? What do you think he should do?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, it's a tough year with. I mean, I don't want to say that they're in like a rebuild year. Like, I don't want to go quite that far yet.
No,
Yeah.
not with Patrick Mahomes.
No,
so, you know.
but with him rehabbing his
Yeah,
knee, it's
yeah.
tough. And they just traded away their top corner, Trent McDuffie.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna let go of a lot of their secondary as well. And they still don't have like a true wide receiver. They don't have a running back. Their
No.
offensive line has like so many issues.
I mean, they
I wonder
cut
if Travis
Jawan
Kelce's
Taylor.
back.
I know you.
Well,
can't-
that's-
they cut Jawan Taylor, which I think was a good move.
I think
Finally.
it's smart.
You can't take Tyreek back. Like nobody can take Tyreek
No.
back. But I don't know. But then at the same time, I'm saying all of that, and if I'm Travis Kelce, like I don't want to go out on a 6-11 season. Like that sounds
know.
terrible.
But if
No.
you don't, what you risk going on, you know
On
what I
a
mean?
back-to-back 6 and
You
11
don't want to be that
seasons.
person who
Yeah,
stayed way longer
too
than you
long.
should have.
But I think it's tough because I mean, obviously he's like it's him and Gronk in terms of that
Yes.
conversation of the greatest tight
Yeah.
ends. But
Agreed.
I feel like his numbers last year, everyone's like, well, they weren't up to like his standards. He didn't break in 1,000-yard season, but like 850 yards and 3 touchdowns for a tight end is like top 5. Like he's still producing. Like if
Yeah.
he wanted to play, he could still be
Yeah.
a top 5 tight end in the league.
He hasn't
so.
been in his prime in several years, but he's still, a valuable weapon on the team
And
for sure.
I think it's also hard to measure his true capabilities when you don't have a running back and you don't have an extra receiver to stretch the field for him. So he's taking on a lot of that workload that I think
Yeah.
in the past few years has especially been a stress, and I think it's probably aligned like with his natural decline. But I think that things could have been different if the offense had been, more balanced.
Yeah. Do you like what the Chiefs have done? You know, the McDuffie trade, the Jawan Taylor release. They might go get Kenneth Walker in free agency.
I know.
Because the tampering period starts Monday, and it's going to be a lot of activity. I mean, the Chiefs actually made a slew of cuts. I think they got 2 first-round picks in this year's draft.
Yep.
But optimistically, what do we think?
I know. I think that they kind of have to be making these moves. I feel like Steve Spagnuolo, once again, he took 2 Super Bowls from us, but but he's such a great defensive coordinator. So I think letting go of McDuffie, like, they're good at developing corners.
Yeah.
I think that's a team that drafts secondary well. So I think that was a smart move. And I'm pretty sure Jawan Taylor's like the most penalized lineman in the league.
Yep.
So
Pretty much.
I think that those were good moves in terms of freeing up some cap space and getting some draft capital.
Oh, yeah.
So, but we'll have
If
to
they
see.
get Kenneth Walker III,
Yeah.
I'm scared of them again.
100%.
Well, yeah,
To
because
be
I mean,
I know.
and I think like 6-11 is their floor. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think they can do any worse than that.
Yeah.
Especially with like Patrick Mahomes back and healthy.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
If he even comes back by week 1.
I think
Yeah.
he'll
Yeah,
be
that's-
back. I feel like he's like a maniac.
I mean,
He's a tough guy. I think he'll be back. I don't know if he's going to be at 100%, but he'll be back.
listen, Jason Tatum's coming back after a torn Achilles, after who knows how long. So
Joe
my
Burrow
guess
wasn't
is
supposed to be back last season either. He did it. Like medicine is just
It's
these people are
crazy.
different. They're
Yeah.
different
I know.
than we've ever seen
Yeah.
before.
I know.
Absolutely.
It's unbelievable. Okay, we got 2 more topics, and then we'll get into some final thoughts here. So, Kyler Murray just got released.
Crazy.
He's, former number 1 overall pick, and now he can literally sign with anybody for dirt cheap because the Cardinals literally have to pay him $37 million guaranteed. Daniel Jones was placed with a transition tag worth nearly $38 million, which, if you don't know what a transition tag is, basically, the Colts definitely still have the rights to his contract, but a team can offer him a new deal, and the Colts have to match that. But I did want to ask this because I think it's like a good discussion. Who would you rather have as your franchise quarterback? Kyler or Daniel Jones?
Well, no, I was going to say, did you guys see that Ryan Clark the other day said that he'd rather have Kyler Murray as a starting quarterback than
Of
Lamar
course he did.
Jackson?
What?
Of course he did. Well, he was the same guy that said, yeah, the Bills should definitely hire Phillip Rivers as their head coach. So,
I think Kyler Murray maybe should go give baseball a try.
Yeah.
I think maybe
Yeah.
it's time to
He was drafted.
to go
Yeah,
back.
he
and-
was.
look at the high pick,
The A's,
too.
wasn't
First
he?
round.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he should.
Crazy.
Maybe it's time to pack it up,
Yeah.
try another sport.
Yeah, I
That's how you feel?
I don't even think this is like a question. Like,
Yeah.
really, who would pick Kyler over Daniel Jones? Here?
No.
well, especially after the year Daniel Jones had
Right?
last year, too. Like, that was a renaissance
Yeah,
for Daniel
so
Jones
sad.
before he got hurt.
It was.
Yeah.
know.
There was the fibula and then the Achilles.
Which you could have seen coming the whole way. Like, if you're playing with the broken fibula, like, your body's so unbalanced. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not surprised at all that injury happened.
Just heartbreak for the Colts last
I
season,
know.
man.
I know. They started so strong.
I know. I'm just gonna say Daniel Jones because
Yeah.
if you look at the Cardinals since Kyler Murray has been there, they got to the playoffs one time, and it was an absolute dud.
Yeah.
They got mollywopped by the Rams. But more importantly, it's like anytime he's gotten off to a strong start to the season, they'll be like 6-2
Yeah.
or 7-1, or in 2021's case, they were like 7-0 at one point, and then somewhere along the way, in the halfway point of the season, they fall apart.
Yeah.
And it's because, he's pretty small for a quarterback his size. And when you take a lot of hits
Yeah.
and when you get beat up in the pocket like that, eventually it takes a toll and you lose a lot of strength because of that. And he hasn't been able to adapt to that.
Yeah.
And it was hard for him too. Like Marvin Harrison wasn't what everybody thought he was going to be, hoped he was going to be.
Yeah.
So that's hard it would be hard to be the quarterback for the Cardinals right now.
agree.
It certainly would.
It's probably going to be like Tua or Kirk Cousins. Like, they're screwed. They do
Yeah.
have the 3rd overall pick, but
Tua.
there's no
That's
quarterback.
what I was gonna say.
What were you going to say?
Oh, just like imagine drafting, even like with Kyler Murray too. Did he make the Pro Bowl that year? They
He
made the
did.
playoffs?
He's
Yeah,
been
I
to 2
think
Pro
so.
Bowls.
2?
Yeah.
That's
Well, that doesn't say
shocking.
much. Shador made the Pro Bowl.
And also, I was
Joe
gonna
Flacco
say,
made the Pro
doesn't
Bowl.
mean
And
anything.
Tyler Huntley.
Yeah, but it's like imagine like paying,
just
or even like
heartbreak.
Deshaun Watson too. Like it's like you pay or Tua, like you pay this guy that you think is gonna be the guy.
You invest,
Yeah.
And then this is like what happened.
The minute I knew it was going to backfire was when they put that film clause in his contract, where it's like, oh, you got to watch this amount of hours of film. I'm like, really?
That's crazy.
That's what it takes to give you like the second highest amount of guaranteed money. Like I just knew it wasn't going to work out.
Right.
We do have one more thing I want to get into. So the Bears have been, in the news lately, and not in a good way, or not positively. So DJ Moore just got traded to the Bills. You brought that up earlier. Their starting center just retired at 27.
That's nuts.
Yep. Tremaine Edmonds got cut. The team might be moving to Indiana. I mean,
worst of all of them.
should we be
I
worried
agree.
about this team?
Who wants to take it? Ryan.
I mean, in terms of their roster, I don't think we should be that worried. When they traded DJ Moore, honestly, I didn't think it was a great move. I think they could have gotten more.
Yeah.
But I think, they have Romo Dunze, they have Luther Burden, they have Colston Loveland. Like, that's going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just, it's still a bad look that they're going to Indiana. But, I don't know. I think the Bears will be fine. Just because their schedule is going to be tougher next year, I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs. But I think they're still going to be fine. They have a good coach. They have the right pieces. I'm not too worried about them, other than the fact that they're going to be in Indiana. That just sucks for everybody.
Yeah, for sure. I also think that DJ Moore is a good receiver. How old is he now?
28.
28. He just wasn't posting up big numbers in Ben Johnson's offense. You know, like he just wasn't like meshing with that offense well. So I agree. I think the Bears are going to be okay.
Yeah, and I believe strongly in the power of momentum. I believe that they'll come off of last year. I mean, we saw it in Cincinnati in 2021, which is what this season reminded me of. It's like something changes in the city.
Yeah.
And we were here and we got to see it firsthand. Something changes. Ben Johnson is he's a culture changer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Caleb Williams, I believe in him. I don't know. I've been talking to some diehard Bears, born and raised in Illinois people who are very passionately saying they're not going to move to Indiana. So I don't know what's true or what's not.
Yeah.
I think it would be better if they didn't for their own sake.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a report that said that Iowa was potentially getting into the mix there. I was like, are you kidding me? Apparently there was
Losing the plot.
I mean,
I
their
know.
headquarters in Lake Forest. That's far from
Exactly.
Indiana.
I mean, they want to be like, Hammond. Was it Hammond, Indiana? Is that where it is?
Hammond.
It's only 30 minutes away from Chicago. It's like, who the heck cares? You already have the Colts, okay? And they're already doing okay.
Right.
So,
Also, no offense to Indiana, but Hammond is basically
Offend.
Gary, and it's have you guys ever been to Gary, Indiana?
oh, it's
I've been
horrible.
through
It's,
there.
you can
Driven
you,
through,
you can
yeah.
smell when you're in Gary, Indiana.
Ugh.
Jesus Christ.
Do they
It's
want
bad.
a stinky stadium? No.
No.
You can't have a stinky stadium.
Okay, let's not take the billions of dollars then. Oh my
No, yeah, it's
Yeah, I can't disagree with anything because, listen, the Bears, they're building around their youth with
Yeah.
Caleb and with Rome and Burden and Loveland.
Yeah.
They're probably going to move on from
So
Komet
cool.
because of that.
I
And
like Cole Kmet though.
yeah, me too.
Oh, and
Yeah.
Cole Kmet, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like he's a productive tight end.
yeah, but he's also got a big cap hit. So I don't know if that's something that they want to look at. But
Yeah.
listen, they were more than a few plays away from being in the NFC Championship.
Yeah.
They were pretty close to doing it against the Rams, but they ended up losing that one, unfortunately. And who knows? They still would have lost to Seattle looking back at it. But at the same time, I don't think anybody should lose hope. No. And I think, the DJ Moore trade was a win-win for both sides.
Yeah.
You got a second and a fifth.
Yeah.
That's definitely, for a receiver that had that big of a dip in production in the last 2 years, that's kind of what you expect. So
I think the Bills are worse off in that trade. To me, that feels like another.
I mean, the Bills are just a
it's
totally
buying
different
themselves
catastrophe.
time and for that X receiver.
If
For
I
that,
was-
Yeah.
If I was a
receiver one.
Bills fan and I'd been asking for years to give Josh Allen some help, and then this is
Right.
This is the help.
Right.
Yeah.
I would be mad.
It's
I mean-
a Keon Coleman, a little bit of a Diggs, type of, a little worse than Diggs, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think
type of
so.
Trade.
I mean, the Bills are just a freaking circus right now because you fire McDermott, you promote the GM,
Yeah.
you throw Keon Coleman under the bus
Yeah.
for pretty much saying, it was really the coaching staff's pick, not the GM.
Yeah.
So that's definitely not awkward in itself.
Crazy.
And then you're the team that is heavily pursuing Phillip Rivers,
Right.
only to promote Josh Allen's buddy.
Don't you think, though, that
Yeah.
was because that was just to say that they did, like, an external search?
You could just say, like, I meddled and I wanted this to be my decision.
Or, I mean, like, they had to interview, like, an external coach. They have to do that when they're doing the
I don't even think that's the case because it's like, if you were going to fire Sean McDermott, that's fine. But, like,
I think
if you're
that's
going to,
about firing them.
like, Phillip Rivers, like, that was the second guy in your choice. And it's like,
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think he actually was. Like, I think they knew that they were going to hire internally the whole time.
if that was the case, then you should have just done it right away. Because, like, that's what happens in hockey pretty much every single time. Someone gets fired 2 hours later, boom, new head coach is in.
Yeah.
So, okay. We're heading towards the end of the show,
Yeah,
which
we
is very
covered
sad.
a lot.
Yeah, we did. If it's flying by.
I could literally do this with all three of you all day. But, Ryan, you want to take this last question?
Yeah, so I mean, if you were, and Olivia actually already talked about this, but if you went back in time to when you were 10 years old, what would you say your life would be like in 15 years? It's a thinker. It's a thinker.
Well, I'm 10 years old,
Yeah, you're.
and I'm saying what my life is going to be like when I'm
So you're
25.
10
If she asks, like, what's my life like in 15 years, what are you saying?
You're time traveling back to her. Yeah.
Okay. You first, Catherine.
Oh, my God. Can you go first?
No.
Come on. I have more to think about. I'm older.
One of you guys go first.
I would say that everything's going to work out. And I think, like, that's the simpler way you got to put it. You're going to meet an incredible amount of people that will love you and support you and be there for you every step of the way in any phase of life, whether you're in middle school or in high school, in undergrad, or even at grad school. There's always going to be that one person that'll tap you on the shoulder, hoping for a big hug and asking, how's it going, big guy? And I think when you have people in your corner to enter your life at the right time, I think you have no choice but to reciprocate that feeling. Because if it's a one-way friendship or if it's a one-way street, then maybe you don't really deserve to be a part of their life.
Yeah. No, I mean, really, I mean, it's totally true, like 100%. And I mean, it's going to be a lot of hard work, obviously. Like, getting here was not easy for any of us. And even being here in these classes, you know, it's not like we're doing nothing in class. But, you know, it'll be worth it eventually. Like, the experiences we're getting here and, you know, getting to talk with all of you. Like you said, we're all connections, you know, and I like everybody here, you know. So, yeah, I mean, it's again, a lot of hard work, but it's going to be worth it in the end.
I like that.
I think I would say stop messing around and pretending that you don't want to work in sports. Because once I realized Northwestern was my dream, but also I knew I wanted to play softball in college. So I went to all the Northwestern softball camps, I did all the things, and then when it became apparent that I was not going to play in the Big Ten, I was like, okay, well, I guess that everything that Northwestern meant, it wasn't meant for me. So then I kind of dropped the dream of journalism and sports journalism and was like, all right, there's something else. So I spent a while thinking I was going to go to law school or thinking I was going to do this or this. And then I'm so grateful that senior year I was like, no, come on. This is what you actually want to do. Go back. But I think I would tell my 10-year-old self, like, that's where you're meant to be, and pursue it all the way.
Absolutely.
I like
What about you, Catherine?
Yeah. Close us out.
Yeah, because, you know, I'm the oldest.
Best for last.
I'm the oldest. Yeah, I think I would tell my 10-year-old self that you're going to live what feels like 1,000 lives in the next 15 years. And it's going to be, like, a hell of a lot of fun. So fun and so crazy. And then there's going to be other times where it feels, like, impossible and, like, there's no way out, but you always have a choice and you're always going to make it through, and it's just going to be like everything that you thought that life was going to be when you thought of being an adult, but it's going to be even better.
Way more fun.
Yeah, exactly. 10 billion times more fun. So to just like not worry and just enjoy being a kid, to be honest,
Don't
because
grow
that's
up so
also
fast.
so special and
Totally.
precious. So yeah, everything happens exactly how it's supposed to, and that's why you shouldn't make too many plans, because all the fun stuff is all the unplanned stuff. And I think that's kind of how we all got here, even though there was an element of planning. It also wasn't necessarily like a direct line all the way.
Right.
Definitely.
Well,
Nice.
that leaves us towards the end of the episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to Dialed In to the 303 Network. Make sure you follow the pre-wrap on all socials if you haven't done that already.
Your guys' pod.
Yeah, besides the point.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're coming back eventually.
You guys, wait, you
Yeah,
don't
it-
even,
we're-
the comeback is going to be...
It's going to be huge.
Exactly. Ryan, I think we got to share some love to the special
Oh,
guest
yeah.
here.
I mean,
So,
yeah,
floor is yours.
I'll share love every day, to these two. I mean, I love these guys so much. They're my friends. I mean, they're obviously really smart and funny and kind, and I love getting to spend time with them every day and be in classes with them, and I'm really happy they're here. And come back anytime you want. Seriously.
Yeah. There's nothing more that I look forward to than seeing either you at the table or you walk through the hallway because it gives me a perfect excuse to be in a good mood. Because Olivia always makes me laugh, and she always knows how to put me in like an exciting mood, and she always knows how to like stimulate my brain and make sure that I'm like not so down on myself. Katherine, damn, the words are I don't think there are enough words to describe just how much you mean to me. You're my best friend. I love you. I love the both of you extremely. And yeah, it's just every single day, you always give me a huge hug. You're asking, how's it going, big guy? You're always checking up on me. You know how to get me out of a big rut. And I think we were talking about this early in the show. You have so many connections at this school, but not once did I ever think that, we'd be this close. So you both are in my family, and God damn it.
Thank you guys for having us
it
on.
was
This
so
was
fun.
so fun.
Yeah.
It was good
Seriously,
chat.
anytime
wanna
you
come
want to.
back.
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
It was good talking.
Yeah.
I do have one final piece of advice to the show. When Sunday comes, when International Women's Day arrives, call your mom, call your sister, if you have one, call your cousin, call your best friend. They could be sitting across from you right now. Just let them know how much they mean to you. And
We'll
because,
post our numbers.
and more importantly, not even that, tell them that you're sorry if you haven't done enough. Because life's too short to have regrets, and life's too short to hold any grudges. So if you could put a smile on their face and make sure that you feel the same way, then I think everybody can, enjoy so many incredible, memorable days ahead. And it's like I say all the time, it's like actions speak louder than words. If you give them like a simple, high five, or you'll say what's up, or if you give them a text or a FaceTime call, just letting you know, like, Happy International Women's Day. Thank you for being such an incredible part of my life. I hope I've been as good of a person to you as you have been to me. And I could honestly never repay you. So you don't have to say that all verbatim, but just that's pretty much the gist. Because if you do that, then everybody gets, everybody wins in the end.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see you next time. Have a great week, everyone. And that's a wrap.
Woo!
Good, very good.
That was so fun.
Yeah, that was
Oh my
great.
God.
So
Good job.
sweaty.
Me
It
too.
is
It's
hot
really
in here.
hot.
I
It
know.
gets really hot in here. Yes.
Like dripping in sweat. That was so fun. I could have talked about